The Starlink Mini has arrived in Canada.
Welcome to Sonnenberg Outdoors. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to give a review of the Starlink Mini high-speed satellite internet system, now available in Canada. I'm going to unbox it, try to give some info, give my review, and take it out in the ice and give her a whirl. Let's do it. Well, the Starlink Mini has arrived. It became available in Canada on December 11th of 24. A little bit of history. Cell phone service here in Northern Ontario is awful. We can see the tower from our house. It's close to the town, and you get hardly any service, one bar. It's very unreliable. I think congestion with the carriers has really made it pretty well unusable at times, let alone when you go to lakes or off the main highway, Highway 17, and you get away, you have no service. So to keep in contact with family members or for them to contact you to check up on you, it's pretty hard. I have waypoints set on the Garmin that you just have to go to the waypoint to try to get a signal to get a text message out. The main reason I got the Mini is for the text function as well as Wi-Fi calling. It's quite capable of doing online 4K videos, whatever you want to do. Let's get this box open and let's get at her.
Okay, let's open her up. It's not very heavy. The whole box and all the accessories, in addition to everything, weighs about 3 pounds. We'll open her up. You have all your instructions on the lid here, how to put it together, set her up. Take this out. Here's the main dish. It's not very big. I think it's 10.2 inches by 11 3/4 inches and weighs about 2 pounds. You have the little kickstand on the back to mount it up so it points up a little bit. That's what they want. You have the two ports, the barrel jack, that's your power jack, and also there's an Ethernet adapter I think you can buy if you want to run an Ethernet cable out of this. This has an internal router inside. So they call it internal Wi-Fi, I think they call it. So there's nothing else to add. You connect to it with Wi-Fi through the app. It comes with 15 feet of power cord. Just has the little barrel jacks on the end. There's numerous power supplies that can run this thing. That's what makes it so mobile. It runs between 12 and 48 volts DC. Uses about 25 watts of power, which isn't very much. And uses a little more power when booting up and maybe when watching high-end movies or something, but just texting or Wi-Fi calling doesn't use much power at all. It also has a 110 volt adapter, so you can run it off 110 at a house or a generator or something. Comes with the pole mount, so you snap this in the back and then it can sit on a pole. You can tighten her down. Maybe you want a little more permanent mount at a trailer or a campground or something like that. But that's about it. Not much to it. Way smaller than the version 2 and version 3 rectangular dishes. They were probably about again, the third again as big as this. But no, nice and small, nice and light. Let's see if we can get her to go. Let's go out and set this Mini up in a blizzard here. I got the nice little case. I'll talk about this later. One thing you're going to notice about Starlink is that it faces north, not south like the old geosynchronous satellites. Reason being, they're connected to LEO satellites or low Earth orbit satellites. They're only 341 miles up in the air. The old style satellites like Bell TV, Direct TV, Explorer, or Viasat are geosynchronous satellites. They're over the equator, approximately 22,000 miles away. I'm just going to plug this into the anchor. By placing those satellites there in the proper orbit, they spin at the same speed as the Earth does. Thus, any dish on the Earth, those satellites appear to be stationary. That was a good idea, but the problem with that is being 22,000 miles away, any Wi-Fi calling or texting or Zoom or anything would take 22,000 miles up, 22,000 miles down, wherever it was going, and then back up and down for a total of 4 hops. This wouldn't work. The latency was over a second. Also, because there's only a few satellites up there, everybody's on them at the same time. the bandwidth goes down and it comes to the point that it's almost unusable as it's just crawling along, especially when kids get home from school and stuff. Trees in the road or a mountain or buildings, you can't find a satellite. You can't line it up. That is the problem. With the Mini, LEO satellites, they're over the northern sky. But because they're not over the equator, they're moving across the sky at 17,000 miles an hour. How do you track that with a permanent dish? SpaceX came up with the phase array antenna, which had been used previously for other applications. That's an antenna that's made up of a series of antennas that are able to focus on different points in the sky at the same time. When one satellite goes across the sky, the antenna will lock onto it. Follow it across the sky until it becomes a structure to where the signal becomes weak. Then, seamlessly, it automatically connects to the next best satellite. It works wonderfully. It's kind of real crazy the way that works. Doing that, the latency is lower, weather doesn't affect it as much, and it works really well. With more and more satellites, this is working better and better all the time. There's approximately 6,700 satellites right now. Sometimes at night, if you look up into the sky and the conditions are correct, you can see the satellite train going across the sky with all the satellites lined up one behind each other. Eventually, as the constellation gets built up, supposedly to 42,000 satellites, this will work all over the world. It pretty well works in 120 countries right now. Let's go back in the shack. I'm freezing and see how this thing works. Okay, we got the Starlink Mini set up, pointing north. We're back in the shack. You have to install the app first on your phone. I already had it on because that's what I was using for my residential one at home. And we'll just select it. And there's all the different settings and stuff. Now, initially when you do it, it'll prompt you to set up a network name or password or wherever you'd like. So we'll just go through this here and see what we got. Now we got statistics. Right now you see the latency is 37 milliseconds. Power draw is only 21 watts. That's pretty darn good. Ping success, 89. That's pretty darn good. The network connected to devices. That's phones. Go to the obstruction page. Now that updates as you go and gets better over time. This is just booted up. You see there's not too much in a line of obstructions. Alignment. This isn't motorized like the early versions were. This is just set it up and go. You can see I have it lined up right in the middle of where it's telling me to line it up inside the rectangle. So that's all good. We have the speed test. So let's see what we got with that. Well, that's not too bad. Over 100, around 100. Down. That varies. Again, switching between satellites and stuff. But I mean, that's lots to do Wi-Fi calling or texting or watching 4K or whatever. You see the latency is only 38 milliseconds. That's really, really good. If you were going with the old geosynchronous systems, that would be well over a second. None of this would work. We got 12.7 upload, which isn't the best, but that's not too bad. We also have the support page. Talks about your account, billing, orders, plans, setup and install. It gives you all kinds of troubleshooting. You want to opt in for extra data. You click on there. There it has, I'm on the Roam package. And it's $1.40 Canadian for every gig you're over. 50 gigabytes are included. That's for $70 Canadian. It's only $50 US or $1 per gigabyte US. You can also see how much data you use. You go under data usage. Click on that. And you see the total data used so far for this pay period is 6.1 gigabytes. You can also here, if I can find it, I think it's in the settings. Starlink. You have snow melt mode where it'll produce heat. I think it's internally with the electronics or whatever to keep the snow off it, but you don't really need that because you can just go out and brush it off. The one at home I have it on, but also that uses a lot more power. So when you're just running off a battery or something, I would suggest to leave that disabled. You can reset the obstruction map, reboot to Starlink, or go to the factory reset. That will bring everything back to square one. From the home screen, you click on the little picture of the person up on top. That's your account. You have billing, orders, messages, shop. We're on the Starlink Mini. You want to go manage subscription, you hit that. We're on the Roam 50 gigabyte plan at $70 a month Canadian. My nickname is the Mini Roam 50 gigabyte. There's the option if you want to pause your service. I believe you can pause it for a month at a time. You can change your service plan, your residential, the Roam Unlimited. You see the Roam Unlimited plan is $189 Canadian, I believe around $159 US. Mobile Priority, that gives you that you can use it out in the ocean and use it across the globe. With the standard Roam plan here, I believe we can just use it in Canada. We can't run to the US or anything. But if somebody's a world traveler, you might want to look at that. Pretty pricey. But I think for $50 a month in the US or $70 here in Canada, and opt in if you want to go over for $1.40 or $1, I think that's the plan that most people will be using if you're out and about in the bush. We'll do a speed test again here if I can find how to get there. And you're over 100. That's pretty impressive for being in the middle of nowhere. The cell tower is approximately 2 miles from me as the crow flies, and I have like 1 bar. Can't do anything. The Wi-Fi is pretty good to the Mini. It's probably only about 20 feet away from me. We'll go to YouTube, go to Clayton's latest. Away we go. We'd never be doing that without the Starlink Mini. Let's go back to the house and look at some accessories. Okay, we're back in the house. A little bit easier to do this rather than a snowbank. I'd just like to talk about some of the accessories I have for the Starlink. First of all, I have the case. This is made by Eazuse. I got it on Amazon. It's nice and hard, supposedly watertight. And as you'll see, it's already pre-cut for the Mini. Take it out. The foam is nice, dense foam. Some of it's, the ones you get are pretty cheap. It has room in the bottom for your cords, all the different cord accessories here. This spot here is for the pole mount, which I don't use. This spot here is for the kickstand itself, and I don't really know why you would take it off. But other than that, it's a really nice case, not too heavy, lots of protection. The only problem is if you're using bigger batteries than that, you can't store them in the case. But for smaller batteries, it's not a problem. Nice case, lots of protection for your Mini. The beauty of the Starlink Mini is that there's different ways that you can power it up. First of all, it comes with the 110 volt adapter if you want to plug it in. The cable that comes with it is the power cable, the barrel cable. Barrel on one end, barrel on the other end. Plug it into Starlink, plug it into 110. You can also plug this in to a little adapter, USBC PD or power distribution. It has to be any power source you have, DC, has to be a minimum of 100 watts. Starlink was sold out of them, so I bought one on Amazon, which they said the rating wasn't very good, but I took a chance. It was no good, it didn't work, so I returned it. When Starlink gets them back in stock, I'll buy one. You plug this in, plug it in a little adapter, and plug it into USB-C. There's also another cable, which I'm using, is the barrel to the USB-C PD that plugs right into your little battery bank or whatever. It works pretty good. This one's only 6 foot long. This was on Amazon. It seems to work okay. They were sold out on the Starlink site. Another cable I have, I don't know how much I'm going to use it, is the cigarette lighter adapter. That plugs into a vehicle if it still has it, or a battery box or something. And that's 12 volt. And that goes right to your Starlink. Starlink makes the best power adapters. They're more expensive, but I think they're better quality and they work better. But it seems like they're always sold out. So I went to Amazon. I'll leave links in the description of all this here. We'll go to the batteries now. I've been playing with different power supplies, trying to figure out which is the best one for me. I have 3 different options other than the 110. The first one is the Jackery 100 Plus. Nice little unit. You see right now, I just have the Starlink Mini on the deck. It's trying to connect, so it's bouncing between 44 and 12 watts usage. And that should give you, 3 hours, something like that, off this little unit, depending what you're using. It's very nice, different USB outlets, 2 100 watt USB-C PD outlets. Nice and light.
The second unit I have is the Anker Solix C200. It's a little bigger unit, weighs about 4 pounds. This is 60,000 milliamp hours, where the Jackery was around 30,000. Again, this has the good USBC PD connectors. You just plug it in and let her boot up here and see what she says. Connects with an app to your phone via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. We'll go in the Anker app, Starlink Mini Power, that's the name I called it. There you go. It's still 100%. The battery temperature is 19 degrees Celsius. It's outside, so that's going to drop. This is connected Wi-Fi. You can see it's taken bouncing around 18, 15 watts, 17 watts of power. And that's going to give you like 8 hours of runtime. 842. That's pretty good for a battery that size running the Mini. It's probably all you're going to need. And you can buy both of these on Amazon. Usually they're on sale. They're smaller units as well, like 10,000 or whatever. They won't last as long, but if you just need to make a call or something like that, should be no problem. You can also charge this one with the solar panel. Connection right here. Standard USB-A ports. The third way I've tried to power the Mini is with a battery box. This is one I made myself. It has a Dakota lithium 10 amp hour battery in it. It has always worked excellent for lighting and small things. This has the cigarette lighter as well as the USB connectors on it. You just take the cigarette lighter adapter to the USB-C, plug it in, and away you go. Nice little unit. I think you should be able to get about 2 hours out of this. I ran it for an hour and a half anyway, and really didn't do too much. It ran perfect, so I haven't tested it that much, but here's another option if you have one already. Pretty good. Probably the most important thing that I haven't talked about yet is the price of the Starlink Mini kit or antenna. In Canada right now, it's going for $5.99. In the United States, it's going for $5.99 as well. I bought mine when they first come out in early December. There was a sale going on then, and I got it for $3.99. Not too bad, considering that I paid over $800 when I bought the one at home, the residential unit, 4 years ago. Another good thing about the Roam plan is that you have in-motion internet, which means you can go up to speeds of 100 miles an hour or 160 kilometers an hour, and it works perfectly. Here's a picture in the truck of it just thrown on the dash and working real crazy, going 100 kilometers an hour. Pretty cool. What are the pros and the cons of the Starlink Mini? The pros, definitely, is high-speed internet anywhere. Over 120 countries in the world, you can get internet right now with the Mini. It's small, compact, runs on DC, AC, all kinds of different battery sources. Even on Amazon, they have an adapter. You can run it with drill batteries. It's very easy to set up. You pretty well just lay it flat, point it north a bit, and away she goes. The app tells you if you have to realign it or just move it a slight little bit. Another positive is that you can pause the service at any time. So if you're using it for camp and it's seasonal or whatever, you can go home, pause it. I think it's only by the month. Enable it when you're ready to go again in the spring or whatever. That can all be done from the Starlink app. The negatives, there's not too many. Probably the price to buy the dish, the price for the monthly package. If you're in the city or something, you think that's crazy. But up in the boonies in the middle of nowhere, it's really not that bad. The Wi-Fi router, even though it works quite well, still it doesn't have the range of a standard router. So if you're using it at a camp or you're using it somewhere like that, maybe you want to have the external Ethernet cable. You can buy that, plug it into an external router, and give you better Wi-Fi coverage. And the only other little thing I have a complaint about is the Starlink site. To buy cables and accessories and that, a lot of times they're sold out. It's probably because there's such a big demand right now. You can buy them on Amazon, but like I said, it's kind of a hit and miss thing. Check the reviews. There you have it. My Starlink Mini review and info session in Canada. I think it's life-changing technology to have that, and it's only going to get better. People that have camps, hunt camps, or backpacking, or in the middle of nowhere, just bring it with you and you're connected back just like you were at home. Kind of crazy. Young fellas that are on YouTube, want to do live streaming, this is the way to go. I'd like to thank SpaceX, Starlink, and Elon Musk for this crazy technology. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I know it was long-winded and stumbled through it as always. Hopefully we can get out and do another video. Maybe catch a fish. Lots going on right now. But thanks for watching, and as always, punching out.